Hello, we're gonna do, oh, my hair is lovely. Okay, we're gonna do problem 15.3. I'm gonna work through the 5 homework problems for chapter 15, but I'll make a separate video for each one, I think. So we're gonna work through problem 15.3. And problem 15.3 is actually a problem I really like. It shows you a lease amortization table. So let me go ahead and share my screen. It shows you a lease amortization table, and then it asks you 6 questions. And so I'm going to go through each of those 6 questions and just answer them based on the table. Now, I can recreate the table using Excel, and it might make things a little bit easier, but I want you to be able to answer the questions without making the table yourself, just looking at the table. So the first question says, what is Majestic's lease liability at the beginning of the lease after the first payment? So this number, after the first payment, you would look at the lease amortization table and you would look at after the first payment. So the lease liability at that point would be $167,298. What amount would Majestic record as a right of use asset? Now, right of use asset is another word for a leased asset. And so that would be the beginning number in the table. The next one says, what is the lease term in years? Well, I just look at 2018 versus 2037. So this appears to be 20 years. The next one says, what is the effective annual interest rate? So if I want to know the interest rate, I need to figure out what the interest rate is based on the outstanding balance. And so I can use any year I want to do it, but I'm just going to use the very first interest number. So to find this, if I equals PRT, the interest, and this was in that first row for 2018, for that first one with the payment, is 16,730 would equal, that's based on the outstanding balance of 167,298 times a rate times, and then you'll notice that each of the payments, it said it started on January 1 and their annual payments, so my time is just 1. So I would say 16,730 equals 167,298 and then I would divide both sides by 167,298. So if I take 16,730 divided by 167,298, I get a 10% rate. So my rate equals 10%. And you could use any row in the table. You didn't have to use that row. So you could use the next one and say 16,403 equals 164,028 R. And if you divide that out, you'll get 10% as well. So you don't have to do more than one. So that rate is 10%. What is the total amount of the minimum lease payments? Well, the total amount of the minimum lease payments, you're making payments of $20,000 for 20 years. So 20,000 times 20. So that's the total amount of the minimum lease payments. And then it wants to know what is the interest expense over the term of the lease. Well, this is what you're actually going to pay. And you originally only borrowed 187. So if this was Excel, I could just highlight or I could just add up all of the interest numbers, but they don't show them all to you. There's a bunch of them missing between 2023 and 2035, so you can't just add them up. But this is how much you paid, and this is the amount that you originally borrowed for the leased asset. So the total amount of interest is $212,702. So that's actually it for that one. So that was a quick one. So let me stop my share. All right, thank you.